If you're looking for a great indie to scratch that Hollow Knight itch before Silksong comes along next year, then I urge you to check out Pronty, a Fishy Tale, a metroidvania set entirely underwater. Now, underwater levels and worlds traditionally get derided in video games, but 18 Light's game gets everything right. Rather than feel like you're wading through treacle, movement is super slick and very satisfying. You play as a guild creature called Pronty, and you have a sidekick called Bront, who's an eel and doubles as a javelin that can be thrown at enemies. The once great city of Royler is under threat by a giant fish called Rashka, who's razed nearby cities to the ground. In some ways, Pronty's world reminded me of Bioshock's Rapture, with many areas featuring 1930s Art Deco architecture. The beautiful hand-drawn landscapes are sure to please Hollow Knight fans, but unlike Team Cherry's game, Pronty plays much like a twin-stick shooter, with one analog stick controlling the protagonist's movements, the other controlling the direction you throw Bront at enemies. Rapidly pressing the action button makes Bront weave back and forth, attacking anything nearby. You can mark enemies by dashing through them, making them more vulnerable, and quite early on you obtain an upgrade that allows you to charge Bront up for a more powerful focused attack. Like all good Metroidvanias, there's a huge interconnected map, with some areas only accessible once you've discovered a certain ability. New abilities are creative and fun to use. One allows you to squeeze through tight spaces, another lets you switch places with the Bront through teleportation. If you're familiar with charms and notches in Hollow Knight, there's a similar system at work in Pronty, a Fishy Tale. Collecting and installing different memory boards augments Pronty's powers. All have different stats, some increase speed or reduce cooldown, some give more health. With 41 to find and only 11 slots available, with 4 unlocked at the start, there's a lot of choice and flexibility for you to create your own battle style. Pronty, a Fishy Tale is an excellent Metroidvania and one of the best I've played this year. A lot of love and care has gone into this game. It feels familiar, but it plays so well and it looks so good. It's out now on the PC with a Nintendo Switch port on the way in 2022. Next up we have Undungeon, an action RPG loot 'em up with light randomised roguelike elements, similar in some ways to Children of Morta and Death Trash, the latter currently in early access on Steam. The story is esoterically complex but well written and sure to please sci-fi fans. As a herald, your task is to save the multiverse after a cataclysmic shift has damaged both time and space. Starting from a hub world, you dive into the mortal plane to restore order. Once on the ground, you're able to move around an overworld map, complete side quests, and find the necessary items to reconstruct the shattered universe. Most areas feature an assortment of creatures after your blood. Combat is slow but satisfying. Your herald, called Void, has Wolverine-esque claws to slay enemies. He can dash, fire projectiles, and throw bombs. The sheer number of customisable options is really impressive and a little overwhelming. There's a vast number of equipable items, implants, secondary weapons, as well as an upgradable skill tree and a deep crafting system. The pixel art is breathtaking and the music so cinematic. The world that has been built here is impressive. It takes a bit for things to get going, with particularly long tutorial sections, but Undungeon is the most intriguing of games, and definitely one to get lost in. It's out now on the PC and also Xbox. Jubilee is a bite-sized precision platformer with retro pixel art graphics, chiptune music, and meticulously crafted level design, the latter being something that definitely makes it stand out from other games in the genre. Rather than feature a series of short levels, Jubilee is set in a vast interconnected world. The way the map is revealed as you discover new areas is similar in some ways to Metroidvanias, but there are no new upgrades or acquirable skills here. Almost all the areas can be accessed at any time and played in any order, with some harder than others. Shrines can be used to fast travel around the map, so if you get stuck with a tricky section, you can try somewhere else and come back later. Checkpoints are never too far away, so even though you'll die often, things never get frustrating. Getting every one of those gems will definitely test your mettle, and most likely leave you with some sore thumbs. If you grew up playing the tough as nails platformers released in the late 80s and early 90s, you're going to absolutely love Jubilee. Grab it now on the PC via Steam. Created by a solo developer over the last 5 years, Unsouled is a pixel art action RPG that looks similar to Hyper Light Drifter and features a stylish combat system like those in Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. The plot tells the fate of a prince and a girl who are brought together through the shared ability to absorb the souls of the dead. The two use their powers for different purposes, one for good and one for evil. Now, like the aforementioned games, you have a huge number of moves at your disposal and will need to block, parry and dodge to defeat enemies. Through precise timing and quick reflexes, you can string a series of devastating chain attacks together. Once defeated, enemies yield souls, which can be absorbed and used to upgrade your character through a skill tree system. The game's currently in early access on Steam and available on the Xbox Game Preview program. If you're a fan of gorgeous pixel art and fast-paced action, Unsouled is definitely an indie worth a look. I don't think I've ever played anything quite like low poly puzzler Moncage. Gameplay revolves around the manipulation of a large cube. Each face of the cube presents a vignette, a doorway to a different world. In each of these, the player can zoom into certain areas and interact with objects. To progress the story, you need to rotate the cube and match up or align similar looking objects across the faces. I found the puzzles relatively accessible, but there is a hint button that can be used if you get truly stumped. If you like a creative puzzler where you need to think outside the box, I can't recommend Moncage enough. It's like a digital Rubik's Cube. Pick it up now on the PC and mobile platforms. Also out this week is Masupuilami, Hoobadventure, a 2.5D side-scrolling platformer based on a character created by Belgian comic book writer André Franquin in the 1950s. In this new iteration, you take control of one of 3 Masupuilamis, these leopard animals with long tails, on a quest to deal with a ghostly curse. Featuring 25 levels, time trial medals and plenty of collectibles, this is a platformer that plays as good as it looks. Fans of Nintendo's Donkey Kong Country series, in particular, should definitely give Masupuilami Hoobadventure a look. It's available now on PC and all major consoles. One of my favourite indie games from last year finally gets a Steam release this week. The Pathless by Giant Squid, the developers of the wonderful Abzu, is a third-person adventure about a hunter looking to lift a curse corrupting the world. The game is broken up into a series of open-world plateaus where you must solve puzzles, activate totems, locate corrupted bosses, and cleanse them of corruption. The multi-stage boss fights are particularly exhilarating and provide many of the standout moments of the game. Exploring the world of the Pathless is such fun. You zoom through areas by shooting talismans with your bow and arrow, your pet eagle allows you to soar high in the sky, reach the top of towers and mountains, and admire some of the most beautiful environments I've seen in a game. If you're a fan of Journey and Shadow of the Colossus, the Pathless is an absolute must play. It's already out on PS4, PS5 and Apple Arcade, and after 12 months of exclusivity on the Epic Games Store, it finally comes to Steam. My indie to watch for next week is Tunnel of Doom, an action roguelike tower defense hybrid. The top-down pixel art style takes inspiration from Zelda's A Link to the Past, and the mixing of the two genres reminds me a lot of Moonlighter. In this one, you play as Angel on a quest to rescue her husband, who's lost in a randomly generated mine. Gather resources, set traps, and fight off the Horde on PC on the 23rd of November, with Switch and Xbox ports coming next month. And that's your lot for another great week in indie gaming. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to I Love Indies and hit that like button. And why not leave a comment below on which of the featured games most interests you? I'd love to hear from you. You can also follow me on Twitter for curated indies of the day and some super giveaways. My Twitter handle is @IndiesLove. I'll be back very soon with more indie gaming goodness. Until the next video, keep loving indies